to cause a sell. Look, if BlackRock, let me rephrase that. When BlackRock gets the ETF approved, there's no limits on where it could go. You're talking about a company that manages like, what is it, $12 trillion worth of assets? That's equivalent to a quarter of the whole world's money. Do they manage a quarter of the whole world's money? No, they manage equivalent to that in assets, $12 trillion. I believe it's 12 trillion. It might be nine. Um, so it's going to keep going up at that point because when BlackRock starts investing in it, we're not talking about small amounts of money. As people are selling, BlackRock's still going to be buying, and it's not just BlackRock; it's other major banks and institutions. Um, there's no stopping it at this point. But even like I said before, even without that, Bitcoin's going to do what Bitcoin's going to do. All the other altcoins are going to follow. There's a lot of money to be made on those. Ethereum, SHIB, all kinds of cryptos. They will go up with Bitcoin, just like they always do. And you just got to understand when to stop. And taking profits, like you said, you've thought about taking profits. There's no shame in taking profits. If you're in the green, you're good. Now you're gonna feel like, oh man, I sold one Bitcoin at 30,000 and it went to 180. I lost out. No, you profited. So there's no shame in that. Uh, but I do think right now is not the time to sell.
I think
Um,
we have
I think we have
Blaze joining
Blaze
us.
joining us.
Blaze,
Blaze, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Blaze, welcome. I been speaking with Nash Cowboy, and he's been holding down the fort. And great to have you here. So one of my questions is, you could see on the title here that Bitcoin faces a reality check if ETF launches spark sell the news pivot. So what a lot of people are speculating is in investing, there's this thing called buy the rumor, sell the news, which is happening right now. Everyone's buying Bitcoin with the idea that when these Bitcoin spot ETFs get approved, that the price will skyrocket. But a lot of times what happens is people buy the rumor, and then when the Bitcoin ETF actually gets approved, there will be a sell the news event. Maybe there'll be a little spike, but then it'll come back down because everyone will be ready to sell at that point. Do you think that the price of Bitcoin will go up after those Bitcoin spot ETFs get approved? Or do you think it'll be more of a sell the news event where people are just going to dump into all of the momentum that's been built?
I think it's going to be like a 75-25 ratio. There's going to be sellers no matter what. Everybody buys the news, sells the hype. Trust me. So I would definitely say Bitcoin is still going to rise because that's not the only news. The halving's coming in
Definitely.
March, and that's a great reason to keep it going.
Yeah, I agree with
I
you
don't think
100%.
Bitcoin is
So,
going to fail at all. It's just going to.
and that's why I haven't been selling because I believe it's just going to keep going
Yeah,
too. I mean, there's
you
so many
almost can't
catalysts.
sell because look, countries are getting into this, right?
I got a
Eventually,
question on TikTok. Is the bull market coming? I believe we're in the bull market for crypto. As far as the stock market's concerned, I don't believe that the bull market is coming right now.
uh,
I think we got too much of an issue with inflation and high rates. I think we need to take control of that. But once we reduce the rates, the interest rates, and the rates start coming down, I think we will go into a bull market in the stock
but the
market.
stock
So the
market's
stock
done well
market's
this.
done well this year for the top seven stocks. Everything else has struggled, but the top stocks in the world have done well, and Bitcoin's done really well this year.
So
mm,
if you've
So
been
if
in
you've
those
been in
stocks,
those
which I
stocks,
have
which
been,
I have been
Bitcoin,
in Bitcoin, you've done extremely well.
everything
But
else.
everything else has struggled. So this is my next topic. Bitcoin is up 20% in the last week. Been a monster week. What do you guys think about this 20% in the last week? Is now the time to sell, or do you think we're going to go higher? What do you think, Nash Cowboy?
I think this in particular pump, as I predicted, and you as well, predicted a pump in October, back to history again. October of an accumulation year, which is what we're in right now, is considered Rocktober. A lot of people call it that. There's always big pumps in that accumulation year, October. Uh, Historically, there's a little bit of a dip in November and December, but not much. And then it slightly goes up from there. I'm just telling you what history has said throughout every accumulation year. And then to answer your person's question on TikTok, uh, are we in a bull market? We are heading into it, yes. And it's after March 20th to 27th is the Bitcoin halving, and we will be full force. We are still in an accumulation year for the next couple months. That's all you have left. After that, I'm sorry. Then you've sold, you haven't invested in time to get full gains. You can still get gains because after the Bitcoin halving cycle, it's going to be up, 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 little dips, but it's going to steady climb. It's historical. It will happen. And the longer you wait to invest, the less gains you can profit during that bull market. Waiting too long is like like you said, Bitcoin's up what 35,000, 34,000, somewhere around there now.
It's at
It's at
34,000. I'll have it on the
34,000. I'll have it
screen
on the
right now.
screen right now.
And what was it down to, like 16.5 or something like that?
It started the
It
year
started
at
the year at
16.
16.
We were at
Okay.
We were at
15 last
15
year.
last year.
Yeah.
So it's
So
more
So
than
it's more than
doubled in the
doubled
last
in the
year.
last year.
so you've already lost a double there. You've already lost an X there. So the longer you wait to invest, the less gains you can get. But it will keep pumping. Absolutely.
Okay, we got Earl saying yes, both. ADA is a nice pivot point for sure. And Giorgio says he needs some Bitcoin. I've been buying XRP and Cardano. Hey, listen, those are good. Those are good picks too. I like those two as well. And I'd like to get a bag of XRP and Cardano myself. I have a little bit XRP, but I'm mainly Bitcoin and Ethereum. But Bitcoin is my number one. 75% of my portfolio. 24% of my portfolio is Ethereum, and the other 1% is just like a little bit of Ripple and Decentraland and some other coins.
But I definitely
need more.
need more.
Don't miss the
I
trend.
definitely need more.
Definitely need
You
more.
only got
No, I know we
No, I
have
know we have a little bit
couple
of
months
echo.
left.
I apologize.
I think we got to
Um,
mute while one person talks.
Yeah. I talked to Nash about that. We have a little bit of an issue from his end, but we'll get it handled. Blaze, what do you think about this with Bitcoin?
Can you give me the question again?
Yeah, so Bitcoin went up 20% this week. Do you think it's going to continue the momentum, or do you think that this is the time to sell right now for Bitcoin?
Well, I mean, sell a little, make a little bit of money, but save the majority. I'd say 90-10, 90% keep it, make a couple bucks. Everybody's in it to make a couple bucks. I get it, but don't overdo it. I say hold because I believe Bitcoin is going to skyrocket within the next 12 months.
Like we are literally, I'm charting it right now. Bitcoin is up 114% this year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a great investment for anyone that's been involved, including myself.
So if it goes up
been,
another 100% this year, it'll be at 68,000, almost all-time high, right? So, yeah, next year coming up, we'll see. I just think it's going to keep going up. I think we already had a downfall, and a lot of people are worried about regular banks with their money, and they're going to stop putting their money into a solid investment where they can actually cash it to any currency they want to. Because if the U.S. dollar keeps falling, at least you'll have Bitcoin staying strong, and you can cash it into pounds or whatever you want to do.
Okay, great. So let's take a look at this next.
It's a good security in my book.
Yeah, I mean, I love Bitcoin. I've been a holder for a long time, and I'm going to continue to be a holder. But I have thought about selling some because I'm up so much in the last year on my Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I think it'd be silly not to sell some. And I've been thinking about selling some because I'm up so much, and it feels great. But I haven't taken any of it, so it's not real money until you sell, guys.
Right.
So if you're up and you want something, you got to sell it. And if you don't sell it, then you're not really winning. So that's the problem. Great point, Earl. This is not financial advice. We are strictly here for information and entertainment and educational purposes. We're giving our own opinions about things. We're not experts in any of these fields, but we want to be able to help you guys get educated, get entertained, have some fun, and have intelligent conversations with our audience about what's going on in the most trending topics in the world, and in the world in finance, and in the world of news. And this is one of the topics that I think is big news in America. New Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, finally, after 22 days, we've got a new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. What do you guys think? He holds favor with conservatives. He's apparently very conservative. He's also extremely religious. This is a man who's very, very religious. So is his wife. So do you guys feel like Mike Johnson will be a good speaker for the House? You guys are obviously in America. Nash Cowboy, what do you think?
Who the hell is Mike Johnson? No, a lot of people are asking that question right now. Who's Mike Johnson? Why haven't I ever heard of him before? You know, I think it comes down to balance. I think that a lot of people are going to look against him because he's so conservative. I really haven't researched him a whole lot, but I do know he takes some pretty conservative stances or religious stances, and a lot of people hate that. But I think it's a good balance because you also have extreme. He is extreme, but you also have a whole lot more extreme on the in the other direction. So I think I think it's good. At this point, we'll see what happens. We'll see what choices he makes. But I think it will help balance the extreme because we've been so far extreme in the other direction for so long that we need a little insight from the other side. I mean, we all have beliefs that disagree with other people's beliefs, and it's just a matter of coming together somewhere in the middle and doing what's best for the whole country, the whole world. Uh, and you have to have, there's a just like the whole gun control thing. There's people in this country completely against them, and then people like me are completely for them. Somewhere along the lines you got to meet as long as it's constitutional. Uh, and I believe he will bring some good insight, but there will definitely be some rejection from typically the left.
Well said. Blaze, what do you think about Mike Johnson taking over as the new Speaker of the House in America? I personally think he's very articulate. I listened to him speak the day he got nominated. I thought he was very articulate. Especially, he's a fresh breath of fresh air. When you listen to Biden speak and then you listen to this guy speak, I'll listen to this guy speak over Biden any day of the week. What do you think, Blaze?
Yeah, from the way I hear him talk, and I've seen him here and there, conservative, religious, family man, the American dream. uh, I like the conservative part. You got to think before you speak. You can't just go gung ho all the time. You know what I mean? You definitely got to be patient with things. So a conservative is more patient, and they tend to figure out, ways around things. You know what I mean? Without losing too much. I like that. So a speaker is better than no speaker right now, and we don't look stupid again.
I agree
You know,
100%. I like
we needed to fill the
from what I've
void,
seen, I
and
like him.
conservative is a good way to go.
I mean, a lot of people are saying he's very radical. He's anti-abortion. He's pro-Trump, which I like because I like Trump. I think Trump was good for America. Some people disagree because apparently since Biden's been in charge, there's been tons of jobs, so that's a positive. But what about the high inflation? What about the high interest
Right.
rates? What about the
Our
homelessness?
problem
What
is
about
right
all the
now
wars?
financial, and we need somebody in there.
Like there's a lot of negatives too. So what about the border issue and the lack thereof
Mm-hmm.
of the border in Canada and the United States, and having people just walking into our country like Swiss cheese that could potentially create a security issue in our
It
country?
already is a
This is what I'm
security issue.
concerned about. And he's talked about it. Mike Johnson's talked about these security issues. So he's a very sharp guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's on top of things, in my opinion, way more than Biden is. So I feel like he's a step in the right direction for America. I'd love to see Trump take that role as president, and I think America would be right back on top. But this is what's concerning me about Trump right now. Trump's daughter, I mean, this is crazy. The judge is ruling that Ivanka Trump must testify against her own father. What do you think about this? Like, what's going on in America, man? These judges are getting weird. They're fining Trump. Apparently, first they fined him $5,000, then 10 grand, then 15 grand. Trump's going crazy. He hates the fact that this judge is ordering his daughter to testify against him. What do you guys think about the fact that Trump's daughter, Ivanka, is being forced to testify against her own father? What do you think, Nash?
I don't think that she'll say anything against them. Will she testify? Yeah, she's ordered to, but you also, she may go extreme and say, "I plead the fifth." You know, she has
I just
that
think
I
right.
just think
dirty.
it's dirty.
Um, the it's insane. It's been a complete attack on Trump since the beginning, since day one as president. They've tried to get him to shut up, and they can't do it. And he's bringing so many things forth that the other party has done that they can't stand it, and it's a witch hunt in my opinion. And some people don't agree with me. My own dad is completely the opposite direction. He's all Biden, and but to each their own on their views. Uh, as long as you can have a civilized conversation about it, then you can get somewhere. But these people have no civilized conversations. It's just attack, 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 attack. Go after Trump at all costs. It's a complete witch hunt. Just like the conservative media says, like I hate quoting them, but that's exactly what it seems like. Um, as far as the fines he's getting for breaking the gag order, whatever happened to our freedom of speech?
That's
That
what he's
That's
that
what
after.
he's
that
asking.
judge needs to be tried because you cannot you cannot stop freedom of speech in this country. He has that right. Screw your gag order. That judge needs to be in jail. Um, as far as Ivanka testifying, I'm sure she'll get up there, but and it's actually quite pathetic that a judge would even insinuate that she needs to testify. Uh, I don't see her saying anything bad about him. So maybe they're trying to get her for perjury so that it's another attack on his family. That's probably what it's going to boil down to. They'll probably bust her with some bogus charge, just like they have Trump. That's my opinion on it. That they're trying to attack anyone surrounding Trump. We see that. Uh, anyone in his campaign. I mean, they've attacked everyone. So why wouldn't they attack his family too?
Blaze, what do you think about this?
Um,
Ivanka being ordered to testify against her own father. I find it disgusting. I'm starting to wonder if this judge is a Democrat. Like, what is going on here?
well,
Like, he's got to be a Democrat.
he's trying to lose his job, so that's already going to happen later on. Second of all, to have somebody's kid testify against him is evil. It's pretty filthy to do to somebody's kid. I don't care how old the kid is, still your dad.
And Trump is
And,
choked.
and
Trump
I,
is
I don't believe
angry
that's an
about this.
American way either. So unless it's murder,
It's terrible.
right? Like murder, loss of life, then that's different. Okay. If a dad committed a murder, a lot of kids wouldn't be happy with their dad. You know what I mean? But this is not murder. This is pathetic. It's a setup on her, okay, to get her involved into her dad's business, and it's not fair to her. So I think something will be done about it.
I find it disgusting. I
Yeah,
think
it's
it's
a bad
wrong.
move by the judge. I think he's planning his retirement.
Yeah, it blows my
Probably his
mind.
last year, and he's
So
like, you know what, I'm going to go all out. They're going to pay me good on this one.
yeah. So let's talk about this last topic here as we're running out of time, but this is a very sad, sad situation. So there was a mass killing in Maine, in Lewiston, Maine. This is the culprit. The manhunt for Robert Card happened for a few days, and then the news is, I mean, it seems odd. They couldn't find him, and then apparently he killed himself. So they say, and they found his body, his lifeless body, after he killed himself. But before he killed himself, he murdered, I believe, 18 people in Lewiston, Maine. Some at a bowling alley, some at a restaurant, and it's just heartbreaking because he just went in there and murdered 18 people and then 13 are injured. It's all over the news. Then they do a massive manhunt for multiple days, shut down schools. Everybody in the entire city is living in fear. This is what I'm talking about. These are the types of problems that are happening in America. And I think we need to focus on the problems that are happening in our own backyard before we start trying to solve problems in other countries. What do you think about this, guys? This is terrible. I heard there's been over 560 mass shootings in America so far this year. I know that this is going to be another one of those reasons that they try to fight for gun control. I know that you guys have your own opinions about that. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this?
Well, you know, I don't say this is factual. I'm on the conspiracy side of this. Uh, like you've seen, I posted a video um, right after it happened that I don't think that's that guy. I zoomed in on the picture of the guy, and I don't think they're the same person. I think he's a fall guy. I personally think he was dead before the shooting ever took place. When you zoom in on the other guy, I don't think it's the same guy. I think it's set up. Uh, I do think they're going to use it. Well, they've already mentioned it for more gun control, a ban on assault weapons, even though there's no such thing as an assault weapon. It's just a word that they use to make something sound bad. Uh, it's crazy. It's a horrible thing that happened. I pray for the families of the victims, um, but there's too much fishy stuff going on with it. None of it makes sense, and I personally don't believe it was him.
Wow, okay. Uh, what do you think about this, Blaze?
All the more for people that have gun rights. Look at the people with gun rights. Uh, there's a high percentage of those people that are not going to go out and just start shooting at people. They're registered. They're known. Bullets are registered to their names. Everything. Um, if you got Nash packing, he's legal to pack, and this guy Fruitcake walks up into a restaurant and starts trying to shoot people, then we're going to get protected by a civilian that can carry. So it shouldn't go against our gun rights. You know what I mean? It should be more stricter laws to pick up a gun. Okay, your credibility and mental testing. They need to do a psych test evaluation on people that actually are trying to get guns, including cops need an evaluation every year in my book. So within 12 months, something can go wrong and make a cop twisted and do his thing. Military guys, PTSD, all the above. I think, the restrictions against people having guns, I don't agree on because it's your right. But the thing is, I think you need to qualify. Okay, enough of the amendments, enough of my rights and this and that. If you are not mentally fit, you're not going to walk around with a gun in my book, and that's how it should be.
Yeah, I think it's brutal. It's really,
You
really
got to do
sad what
follow
happened
up mental
here.
testing, man. You do. People that have guns should report for mental evaluations, and that's how it has to be.
Yeah, it's the pro that brings up a whole lot of problems is who's doing the testing. This is something that I would somewhat disagree, but I do agree. Because who's to say some strict liberal saying that, oh, well, he's just not mentally fit just because they don't want anybody to have guns. But then you got to go throughout history.
I say your
All
own
these
personal
people,
doctor.
all these
Your
people
own
doing
personal doctor.
all these people doing mass shootings are usually illegal to have guns. Very rarely is it a law-abiding citizen, and that's why I think whoever did this shooting picked this guy, who happened to be trained. He happened to be a weapons instructor. He's the perfect fall guy for the situation. Um, so like I said, I'm on the conspiracy side of that. I have been from the start, along with some other shootings. But uh, you never hear, like Blaze said, if somebody like me, which packs, and I do everywhere I go, and every single building I go in, um, if somebody like that comes in, I'm taking them out. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm not going to think twice. I'm pulling the trigger. And and that happens quite frequently. But the liberal media will never tell you about that. They'll never tell you about a guy that walked into a mall and started shooting, and somebody was packing, pulled it out, and stopped him before he got more than one person down. You'll never hear that in the news, that guns saved lives against people that do horrible things.
Well, one of the things that really blows my mind about this story is the fact that in Maine, people can carry guns. And there was no report of anyone who fought back. Not one person fought back. Not one person had a gun, apparently. It just seems weird. Like, you're allowed to have guns there. Why did not one person shoot back? It just seems bizarre. Now, maybe it was a bowling alley. People don't bring guns
Yeah,
to a bowling alley.
but you
Maybe
can have guns there. You had public places that could be having guns behind the counter. Like nobody retaliated to stop this guy.
And apparently, the gun sales in Maine went through the roof after this happened because you are allowed to carry in Maine. I researched this. We researched this. We're like, are you allowed to carry in Maine? You are allowed to carry in Maine. So if you're allowed to carry in Maine, why didn't anyone try to fight back? I mean, apparently he had a big gun. Obviously, it's scary. You know what I mean? He's probably better with the gun than you are. I guess that's a part of it. I know if Nash Cowboy was there, he'd fight back. So I don't know. Like, maybe there needs to be more security everywhere. Maybe we need to step up security. Like, maybe we need to spend more money on security everywhere we go because we're living in a world now where it's just not safe anymore.
And when you hear
When you hear about 560 mass shootings in America, and mass shootings are four more people. There's been 560 times where four more people have
That's
been
almost
shot.
2 a day. That's almost the average of 2 mass shootings a day for the whole year.
So it's obviously a problem. So what's the solution to this problem? At the same time, you don't want to take guns away because if there is some type of a terrorist attack that happens on American soil, it's good that people have guns so they can protect themselves.
because we saw what
Because we saw
happened
what
in
happened in
Israel.
Israel.
Those
That,
people
Those
walked
people
into their
walked into their
homes
homes
and weren't able to protect
protect
themselves.
that
themselves.
number is very skewed, though. Okay, that is not. Uh, that's including gang shootings. That's including all kinds of things. That number is very liberal skewed. That's not somebody just walking into school. They want to make it sound like somebody's walking into a school every day shooting it up, and it's just not happening. The numbers are skewed, just like the amount of people that are killed by guns in America. A huge portion of those are suicide. Um, so the numbers are a little bit skewed there.
All right, guys. Well, you know what? I wanted to thank you guys for joining us today. Nash Cowboy, and Blaze, I really appreciate you guys being here. My message to everyone is, we need to figure out a way to make this world a better place for all of our children to have a future. I don't want my kids to live in fear. I know that Nash Cowboy and Blaze don't want their kids to live in fear. So the only way we can do that is if we come together and settle our differences properly, professionally, legally, put the guns down, stop killing each other, stop hurting each other, stop destroying each other. At the end of the day, we all have to share this world together. We're all brothers and sisters. We're all connected. No man or woman is better than anyone else because of their race, religion, or color. None of that makes any difference. Money doesn't make a difference either. When you die, you can't take it with you. So just because you have more money doesn't mean that you should have the right or different privileges than someone that has less money than you. So I think we have some major problems in this world. I hope we can come together and figure it out. Hopefully here on the Bull and Bear Show, we can talk about it and we can come to some type of resolution, and hopefully we can make the world a little bit of a better place every week when we do our show. I appreciate you guys being here. This is the Bull and Bear Show, episode number 23. Gentlemen, do you have anything else you want to say before we say goodbye?
Just that may God bless America and Canada, because we're going downhill fast. God bless Israel and Palestine. And hopefully there's a solution in all our countries soon. Ukraine, Russia. We just pray for peace and for innocent people to stop dying.
Well,
Well said.
Well, I'm going to come up
Blaze,
with
anything you
I'm
want to
going to
say?
come up with a new movement here. We're going to call it North America Strong. Yo, look, Americans of any sort in North America, you know, we got to get our issues squared away before we can go out and help others. Because right now, there's a lot of people in the United States and Canada feeling left behind by their own countries because we're visiting other countries, minding everybody else's business. So, North America Strong, let's make a new movement. Let's pump this out. I'm going to spread it around. We need to stand up together as a team, America and Canada, and as well as Mexico, North American. Let's go.
All right, guys, thank you for joining us. Guys, everyone that's watching, please go and follow Nash Cowboy and Blaze. I'll have a description to their channels in the description of the video, and we'll be praying for peace. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully another great week for Bitcoin. Hopefully a better week for all the crazy stuff that's happening in the world, because it just seems like every week the escalation of violence continues. Hopefully next week we have some good news on that front, but it doesn't seem very likely, unfortunately. So thank you for watching. Have a great week. Happy Halloween to everyone. I'll show you guys our Halloween background. I thought that we have a pretty cool Halloween background here. I'll show you guys again. There's our there's a Halloween background. Hopefully you guys like it.
I love it. It
And
looks
have a
cool,
great
man.
weekend.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend, everyone. I'm your host of the most, your boy Rich from Rich TV. If you're not winning, you're probably not watching. We bring you CEO interviews, breaking news, trending topics, engaging shows with great co-hosts and guests. King Earl, thank you for being in the chat. King Earl says the issue is that liberal media makes people too scared to defend themselves without fear of charges. Yes, I agree with that. That's another thing we got to figure out. Maybe we'll use that as a topic for our next show. Thank you guys. Have a great day. I'm out.
Salute.
Peace.